Hey, what's up, guys? It's Steve here, and welcome to the Thursday stream, where today we're gonna take a look at the cards. And if anybody is interested, we can take a look at your cards for sure. And also, I just want to talk about the event this time because we don't normally take the time to really discuss the event itself and how people are doing and what your thoughts are. I thought that given the change to the rune system and everything, and just kind of seeing the various feedback that people have had, I thought that it would be good to also talk about it and get your take on what your experience like so far. I can also definitely share my experience, talk about how things are going with me in the event so far, and just kind of my feeling around the rune dust changes, etc. So probably going to be a mixed bag of conversations today instead of just purely focus on just deck building. But I am going to show a couple of decks. I think I did a video yesterday on just a couple of very basic deck ideas, and I wanted to replay some of them, just kind of help showcase again, reiterate how to actually play them, and also explore some of the other decks, some of the other cards that I did try out that I didn't get a chance to do a video for, and so we can probably do that. And just looking at the chat here, and so just saying hi to the various people that have joined us right now. We've got Nano, Guido, Naya, Joe K, and Vucha. Welcome everybody, and Debbie Moss. Good evening, good morning, and hello to everybody here. So let's see. So you probably saw if you just joined me, I was actually using my Dark Slayer team for a lot of the bosses because it does have Immortal Killer. And so a lot of people actually do have questions, and I guess they get a little confused on just like, what does it really mean? So Immortal Killers, like these different killer skills, the way you look at it is, these are if it's an Immortal Killer, then it's going to be strong against cards like Demigod, God, and Elves. And you can also see it when you look at the boss. So when you go to a boss, for example, they'll actually tell you what is the strongest. So Immortal Killers, for example, is the strongest against enemies. And then they tell you the types of enemies they are. So that it kind of gives you a better sense of just what kind of ultimate form cards you should use if you were to have one. And so yep. So I'm probably not going to jump into the deck building right away, although I'm paying attention to some of the people that have that are putting some requests in there. So just saying hi to everybody again. Also just a quick plug for the new guild that I just visited. I'm visiting a guild right now. It is a German guild, actually, really cool people. It's Dragons Reforged Rec. And these are really nice people, and they're a lot of fun. And because of the time difference, it's actually a little bit interesting for me, where for the most part I kind of am on my own, but like when they're online, they're at it, and they're very they work very well together. So just kind of give a shout out to the people here. Here is the guild leader Morrigan, and then also Queen Linden is the one that invited me. So just want to say thanks, and just kind of gonna scroll down a little bit so you can see the people that are part of this guild right now. Anyways, just visiting for an event. I thought I would take it easy, play in a Slayer event with some other guild, just kind of freshen things up a little bit. All right, so some of the things that I showed in yesterday's episode. So if you guys had a chance to watch it, it was a very short 5-minute video. I really just wanted to, show some decks that didn't require ultimate forms. But this is the main deck that I'm using right now. I do have one of the support cards in there. I actually think that it's a pretty good card. Although what really sucks is the slowness of the gem spawn animation, and you'll see what I mean with that a little bit later. So personally, I just kind of feel like some powerful deck, but the animation is super slow, and I wish that it weren't so. And also, just a quick update, I did try to get the Master Collection card and also the Ultra Rare card, and I did not succeed in either of those. So you can see where I'm at right now. I did actually collect enough dust, though. I had quite a bit already saved up from before the event. And then some of my pulls were really good. I had some pretty pretty big dust pulls. So I did have them saved up, but I'm not going to use it this time. I'm actually just going to wait until the next water event, and hopefully I can craft my ultimate form for a water commander event, which I think is going to be more useful for me. Right now I have some cards I can play with. So anyways, some of the, this is the deck I showed. If you have a Reforged Butcher and you're short on other cards, I think this is a good choice. I kind of like the idea that they're, coming out with, basically the entire deck, the entire featured deck that, came out a long time ago in Generation 1. You can now reforge them all. I think that's pretty cool. And generally, it looks like the support card is the better option to do reforges as opposed to the, ultimate the ultra rare hero back in the day, because it does cost quite a bit to reforge. And so some more people in the chat here. We got Adrian and Brent and Tamara, Gary, Isaac, and Judge of All. Welcome. Yeah, so I will jump into your profile just in a little bit. And what I wanted to do is talk about a specific deck that I didn't get a chance to show. And that is this one. So I'm actually going to talk about this combination. So these are the two cards that you can actually reforge, but I chose not to. So if you reforge these cards, the skills will actually change. So if you take a look here, I have a 4-star Arter. I did buy him back. So we can take a look and see what the skill is. So if you were to reforge him right now, I think we talked about last time, you're going to basically create, you're going to attack. It's a nuke damage, and then you're going to have a turn delay. So this is a turn delay card with a 5-turn cooldown. So not that great. But really, by itself, though, at a non-reforged state, it also isn't useful at all. The only thing it's really good for is basically adding the status boost to Farah and to the Butcher that is unreforged. And so what it does is it will basically add this status called Bleeding to the Water for 2 turns. And this is the key part. And when you use Farah, if you have Arter on the team, then you'll see that it will have a boost to the damage that enemies can take. By itself, it will increase it by 25%. So actually, it's better than Procambrius on turn 1. Although the nice thing about Procambrius is you can stack them by itself. So a single card, you can actually stack it twice. And then, but if you have the enemy's blood in the water, this will increase to 100%. So I actually tried a deck that used 2 of these cards. And so we are going to actually explore this a little bit. And so I'm going to actually do this. I'm actually going to show you guys how this all works. And this way you can sort of decide for yourself if this is the type of card that you want. So I'm actually going to do this thing, right? Basically, I'm going to change this up a little bit, and I'm going to add a relic so that it will deal a little bit more damage. So right now I can run a deck that use a, I can use just a single support card and a event card from for Halder, and I will show you if there is a boss that's big enough. Okay, this one should work. Hopefully it's not going to get killed. So let's take a look and scroll to the team here, and then sort of talk about why I like these kind of mechanics here. So Farah, when it first got introduced, was actually a little bit bugged, although people who were around will tell you that it wasn't bugged. But basically the 25% bonus and 100% bonus, basically people were buying up multiple copies of Farah, because if you have one Arter and then multiple copies of Farah, their damage boost was actually multiplied. Instead of it being just a additional stack, they were actually being multiplied. So you would get something crazy like 1,000 or 10,000, somewhere to the effect, where it just absolutely enormous amounts of damage. And eventually they actually did nerf that. So people were not too happy about that. So anyways, so this is my turn 3 damage right now. So first you activate Arter, and then I'm going to go ahead and activate 2 Ferris here. So this is going to be a stacked sort of damage. The damage taken by the enemy will be stacked, so it's 200% right now. And you can just see, with this, I'm actually able to deal like over 100 billion just on that hit there. And so if I keep it up, and it's also pretty nice that it only has a 3-turn cooldown for Farah as well. So this is a just a nice little way to add a little bit more damage boost if you are lacking in the overall team. So that's just kind of an idea there. And so I guess, I'm just going to take a look at the new people I've joined. And so just going to see, what's in the chat right now. And so, yeah, so it sounds like some people do need help. So I think maybe what we can do is we can take a look now and say hello to Annabelle and Jason Moore. So, and Yasmulo. All right, so let's see what's going on here. Yeah, so the Reforged Butcher is a nice upgrade there, and again, it's a much cheaper option. If it's a card that you got from purchasing a pack, you can just reforge it and you can use it for your benefits. All right, so let's take a look, and I think the first person that did ask for some help is Joe. So let's take a look at Joe's deck, and hopefully what we can do is we can use some of the ideas that we've built here, and hopefully you can also benefit from there. I would assume that most people probably have similar setup, and we can see. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at your cards here, and let's see. So you've got Pinocchio. That's obviously a card that you'll want, and just want to make sure that you understand the mechanics here. So the really the way that you want to benefit your damage is to make sure that you get a full board of gems and as many power gems as you can. So Pinocchio will actually create 4 power gems, and it will also heal. So basically you get some attack bonus, but really you can treat this as another gem spawner, and also you're going to get additional damage boost because of the killer bonus. And so with this kind of setup, I kind of actually like spreading it across your Fable and then your Honored, as well as your what's the other one there? So Honored, Fable, and then I guess the Elf only for the Slayer relic there. So just looking here, you've also got Dr. Nuna, so you can choose between Dr. Nuna or Haldor. I mean, I don't know. Not sure if you really need all that help, but really kind of, I would say just, Pinocchio, and you don't have the ultra rare card. So Pinocchio, 1 copy of Torchina, 1 copy of Haldor, 1 Cricket. That's 4 right there. And I would say for your 5th card, you might benefit from just adding in your Dr. Nunat. So that it's all about getting the most damage there. And you saw how I played my deck earlier. You always want to activate your support card first, get hit, and then you're going to spawn a bunch of gems. And one of the trick here is, by now, people who play around for a little bit, you should have 3 Slayer relics by now, unless you join afterwards. But definitely put those 3 in, and that's why I say spread it across 3 different event cards. This way you're going to be able to generate all 3 of those power gems. Plus what I did was I added one for Fable, for Honored, which is the Matriarch Spear, and then I added one for Fable, which is the Dragon Staff. So these also generate power gem 2s. So basically I have 3 power gem 3s, 2 power gem 2s. And the way that the support card works is when it activates, you actually spawn your power gems from your relics twice. So you end up getting 10 power gems total, which really helps with the damage there. So whatever team you end up building, I think you should think about center it around your support card, unless you already have the ultimate form or the ultra rare card. So in that case, you just want to put them in there. But I would say, follow the advice I gave in the video I made yesterday. Hopefully that'll help you out. And I think the other person that has asked for help here is Ju. Okay, so let's take a look here. And this doesn't look like the right person, so I'm going to move to the next one, and that would be Sir Basta. Okay. And I do also want to talk about just, how everybody is feeling about this event here. And I think that there are definitely people who got really lucky already and got multiple copies of the Master Collection card. How has the experience been for you in terms of the ultra rare card though? Because it definitely is very different experience from what I've heard and what I've seen. Just, the fact is there are less cards that you can pull from in those packs, and so were you able to get it? Were you able to craft your ultimate form easily? And just what are your thoughts now based on what you've seen so far on the dust? I certainly have my opinions, and so I'll talk about that a little bit. So I'm just kind of taking a look at what you've got going on here, and probably this is the one. So you've got the event team here using. Okay, so here's a quick suggestion that I'm going to give when I see this, and that is if you get 2 copies of this type of support card, unless you know that you'll never use more than 1 copy, generally I kind of stay away from Awakening using a duplicate copy, because this is a really good card that can give you a full board of gems really easily. Like, I don't run 2 of them all the time, but sometimes I do as well. And so what you lose is actually the ability to get more gems, and in sort of the trade-off is 20% additional damage. And so I'm not saying you shouldn't, but generally when I see people awakening the support cards, I just want to make sure I remind people that you might find additional use by having a separate copy rather than awakening right away. And you're also using up mana, which is really precious. It's better if you can save it up for when you have like a master collection card, or if you get an ultimate form, then you can use your mana to awaken then. So just something to think about. So I see that you've got your three relics, and you're spreading across 3 different heroes, and then you've got the Cupid T arrows and the Stalking Cricket. So that looks like a good team so far. And if we take a look at the Water Slayer deck, the cards, I bet you that is probably going to be the best that I can think of here as well. Well, one improvement I could recommend is, instead of using Cupid T arrows, I would suggest you go with Haldor instead. Oh, you already used a Haldor. Am I missing something? Sorry, let me go back. So the thing with using Cooper T arrows is that when you activate his battle skill, you're going to actually end up you're going to activate the nuke, which then will cause you to lose your turn in the middle of a fight, and that could potentially cause you to lose your MVP or lose your 15% bonus. And so what should you do? I think that you will lose 4. So I guess what you want to do is make sure you activate him if you can without the 4 power gem 4s, because the nuke comes in if there's 4 water gem 4s or more on the board. And so that would be my only recommendation there. I mean, you could consider putting in Iron Spine Night Horse, but it will add about the same. Like, it'll give you 4 power gems as well, so you're not really gaining that much. So given your team there, I think that looks about right. And just the play style, just activate your La Fata Tucina first. Don't activate Haldor first. So that will be my recommendation. Activate everybody. Activate your 2 support cards first, then activate the Cupid T arrows, the Stalking Cricket. Okay, let's do this again. The order in which you should activate them is your 2 support cards, then Cooper T arrows, then Haldor, and then the Stalking Cricket, because the Stalking Cricket will actually benefit by healing if there are 4 power gems 4 or more. So Cricket will come last, T arrows will come first, and then Haldor comes in the middle. That's how I will recommend you activate your cards. All right. And I think the next person is going to be Judge of All there. So we will take a look there, and then we'll kind of go back and take a look at the chats to see what's going on there. So yeah, so I think with this particular deck, there is also that notion of like, look, timing of your activation actually matters in this case, and so really pay attention to what you've got, so that we could so you can benefit with you can maximize your benefit. And so the deck is Burr, all right. Burr 2 or Burr 1? Just Burr, okay. Well, you got the. Unfortunately, I don't think the Guardians of Islam is actually going to have a lot of use this time, just because there's no Chaos Killer enemies. No enemies that Chaos Killer is good for. So let's see, and you've got pretty much the kind of cards I would see, and you've got all the right relics. So what can we do to improve it? Not sure until I take a look at the cards there. So you got 2 Haldors, and you've got your Guardian of Islam. Then the question is, would it be better for you to replace the Stalking Cricket with another Haldor? And I'm tempted to say that you might benefit from putting another Haldor because the difference is 4 Power Gen 4s versus 4 Power Gen 1s. And you're going to, get more damage out of all your other cards. And your Stalking Cricket is, going to... It is a times 10, but it's only for itself. So you lose a little bit for the Stalking Cricket, but you're going to gain additional damage for all of your other cards, especially your Master Collection card. So that's what I would actually recommend. Use 2 Haldors versus just 1 and 1. Okay? Now let's see what's going on here. So what does everybody have to say about the event? And there is actually quite a bit. All right. So let's see. I'm just reading down here. So Annabelle Corpse, I want to ask if it's a good idea to forge the ultimate relic. This time I do have the times 13 cricket and support. And so generally when I think about ultimate relics, the way I see it is if you only have 2, then if you only got 2, we're sort of getting to the point now where it's starting to get a little bit okay to reforge, because if you have also the other 2 previous Water Slayer relics, then you'll at least have 3. Otherwise you will have 4 of them. And the way we kind of think is, if you can have 5 total Slayer relics in there and anything extra, yeah, definitely go and reforge them. So you do have the times 13. I guess my feeling is you aren't really going to need the benefit from the ultimate relic, and because what it'll do is it'll give you 50 skill points to start. You will get a little bit more damage, but you're going to lose 1 additional Power Gem 3 plus the other boost. My recommendation is hold off if you can, and it's up to you ultimately, but my personal preference is to just keep as many of the relics as I can until I really have it filled out. And then you can always go back and reforge it afterwards. Like, it's not a done deal if you don't reforge now. So it's not required. And I think that you might benefit just holding off a little bit. All right. So let me know what you think about that. And so Duppy, so I guess what you're saying is sucks as in like the event sucks. You got nothing. Yeah, unfortunately that did happen. And 15,000 gems for UR and didn't get it. Sorry about that. And Hogeber, welcome. So sorry I'm a little bit behind on the chats here, and just kind of seeing what everybody has to say. Jason Moore couldn't get either to save my life, and I guess this is sort of the story of the people who got it and the people who don't got it. And this is one of the things that I will say. Before the event started, one of the things that I sort of thought about was what's nice about these changes is that you get consistent, like there's consistency at least in the dust that you can get, and so it does work for sort of longer term building. But what it doesn't solve is for people who spend a little bit or people who choose to spend moderately. If you don't get it, then it really, really sucks. The experience is really bad because the cards that you have available to get, and I'm looking at the Ultra Pack right now. So like you look at all of these tiers, and the number of heroes that are available for you to potentially pull a ultra rare hero is really, really low. I mean, like you look at like there's only 2 heroes up to tier 4, 3 at tier 5, 4 at tier 6, and that's it. There's only 4 cards that you're pulling from. Whereas the Master Collection hero pack, there's 9 cards to pull from. And so I just kind of feel like it's just, that's the double-edged sword. And people who don't get it, it's a really crappy feeling. You spent money, you spent gems, you don't get it. And those of you who were able to get them at a lower tier and something that we've never seen before, that's great. So it is sort of I think there's a balance, and also the collection is kind of really crappy. I do have to agree there. So if you look at the collection rewards, everything you get is about 600 dust is the reward here. And I just kind of feel like, we could do a little better, right? So basically 600 dust, and there's basically 6 for each. So a total of 3,600. That comes out to 1.5 rooms that you can get in this new system. So I'm sort of on the camp of like we should get more. I think we should get more, especially at higher tiers. I think we should get more dust, just to help us out. Like those of us who choose to spend, like I said, it's already better. So I don't want to give them too much negative feedback here, but I do think that we could do better. Like this could be a lot better. We should look at the feedback for all the people who are just who choose to spend, and it shouldn't feel like a punch in the gut. And I'll admit, like, I actually tried to go for it and it didn't happen for me and it wasn't a good feeling. So I totally emphasize here. And looking at the other people who are joining us here in the chats here in the stream. So again, for everybody who just started joining me for the stream here, I showcased a little bit of my deck and we went through a couple others as well. I'll take some time. We'll take a look at yours as well. But I just wanted to mostly chat about the event and kind of talk about what's going on and what my thoughts are. And so looking at the chats here, we've got hi Ron and Albert and Mearsy8. So I don't have the Master Collection cards. You have 2 support in the cricket. I can do decent damage, but don't like to swap from runes to just dust. How do you feel about it? And okay, and your in-game name is the real McGray. Yeah, we'll take a look at your deck a little bit when I go through the profiles. Will Robinson, welcome to the stream. And love the videos. Unfortunately, it looks like you're done with the game with the 3.0 rotation. It's not fun with you. Half of your guild can solo Radiants in Eternals. So that is sort of the opposite here, where you're in a guild where everybody's basically just one-shotting these big, huge bosses. Where's the guild play? And I think that is definitely a big problem here. A lot of people talk about sort of their experience with the game. Part of it really is just their experience with the guild and playing with the guild, and also just feeling like they are part of an effort here to take down a big boss. I remember when we used to have these billion, I'm talking billion, not trillion, billion health bosses. And, we would all have to work together really hard to try and take it down. And there's a sense of accomplishment when you can actually do that. And I still remember there were times when some of us would go in for 20, 30 different, fights and just being troopers, 4-hour window, just completely going, crazy trying to take down the boss. And it just hasn't been quite the same since. And I totally understand how that could be as well. So sorry to hear about your experience and that you're leaving the game. I do hope that wherever you go, whatever game you play, that you'll enjoy it, and hopefully and thanks for your support, and also thanks for joining us for the stream here for the chat. And so while I'm chatting here, I'm just gonna help out a little bit with our Eternal boss. Speaking of Eternals, although this is not a Radiant boss, this is a Cobalt boss here. But like I was just talking earlier, this is a new guild that I'm visiting right now. It's a German guild, so I'm learning a little bit about the language. I mean, not really learning, but it's just really interesting sort of watching and reading the conversations that's happening and trying to understand what they're saying there. But they have been very gracious, really nice people here. So Ron, you think you've maxed out your team? Can you get more power? So power comes from really, if you've already maxed out by leveling them, then the only other way is to look for abilities in other ways to get power gems, or for you to awaken cards. So we'll take a look at a little bit and see if there's anything we can do to help out there. But there are quite a few people that are also in the queue right now, unfortunately. And sorry, I'm also a little bit distracted because I am playing a little bit. So I think now is the good time for me to act. Oh no, I need to wait one turn. So I need to wait one turn to activate here. And then, so this is where, timing is really important. So don't activate your support card and until you're about to get hit. In Slayers, it's easy to forget if you don't pay attention to the timer there, and you end up using it, and then everything goes to waste. All right, so basically the lag is terrible, so I apologize. I guess when I'm streaming and I'm playing at the same time with high graphics, it's a little bit laggy, and my phone heats up too much, so it's a little bit slow. But you can sort of see what's going on here, right? This is what I'm talking about. Like first my 5 relics come on, and then more gems come on, and then I get 5 more relics. So I can basically get a full board of power gems with this particular setup, and I can deal some pretty good damage there. It's a couple 100 billion. This is without the killer bonus. And so we got other people jumping in and helping out there. So this boss is good as dead. I'm just going to let it run out. Probably just kind of play a little bit while I continue to go down and take a look at the feedback here. And let's see. So Kiko, what's up? And Alan, welcome. Ryan Hall. Want to swap out Vendor for a second Haldor, but need replacement to Power Elf Relic. So I guess the question is Vendor. Oh, I guess because Vendor is a nuke damage dealer. So in that case, I think probably it's okay. I would keep the elf relic in there anyway, and just kind of play around a little bit, because like if you put in Cooper T, that's the same thing. The only other option is really to put in the Kaliba, and you might lose additional damage that way. So it might be okay to just leave that relic in there and lose the Power Gem 3. It might be, in terms of damage-wise, you may not lose as much. So, Brent Kell, the dust is the same as runes. If you have 16k, they can forge MC with runes. So the dust change makes no sense. I think, yeah, so the way I think about the dust here is that it is at least a way for you to build it up and know that you're not going to have a duplicate. And I guess the argument is, well, you can get you can just get all duplicate runes and then dust them anyway. It's gonna come out to be the same. So I totally understand that sentiment. I think it's just that it's one of those things where it just takes away the luck factor. That's all it is. It just takes away the luck factor and sort of puts everybody on the same playing field. But it does make sense that it does drive up more desire to purchase packs, because you can get more dust from packs. So that's kind of like the difference in my opinion here. Yeah, so lots and lots of chatter here. So let's go back and take a look at some of the other people that have requested. And so let's see. So I think the last person I helped out was Judge of All. So let's go ahead and take a look at Nano's cards. Sorry, I'm kind of going back and forth here. So if you're still with me, thank you for sticking around. And how did you guys like the sort of the short videos here, like the really, really short videos that I came out with? It's basically just like, a 5-minute video to talk about, some of the ideas I have based on what I see. These are just, quick ideas to get you started with the event, and kind of goes back to what I used to do when before I did the streams. What do you think? More of them? I know that there were some ideas. There were people that have mentioned doing some guild versus guild type, recommendations. I think that's also a really good one. I do want to try out some of the other. I did one for Ascend the Gem Silence. There's also going to be others. As soon as I can ascend my other wardens, we can give it a try there. So let's take a look at your Water Slayer cards. Oops. Not there. And I just want to see, so Nano, is there anything that you specifically want help with? I think that based on what I see here, there is probably, you can use, I would say no more than 3. You don't really need 3 Torchinas. So 2 support cards here seem like a good idea, plus a Cricket, because that's your Power Gen spawner, and at least 1 Cupid T Arrow, again, because you do need Power Gen spawners. So those 2 plus that, and then for your third card, you might consider putting in the Iron Spine Night Horse just to get additional Power Gems there. And then if you have the gears here, let's take a look. Hopefully you have the Water Slayer relics here to help out. So you got at least 2 relics. And it looks like you haven't gone one for this event yet. So if you do get it, then you're going to be pretty good in that sense. And if you have any honor relics, so you have 2, and you do have the Matriarch Spear, so definitely put that in. So that's already 4 relics that you could put in. So I would do 2 of these. I would use Cricket. Oh, I guess you also have the Goddess of the Surf. So that's not a bad idea either. That's actually a pretty good idea. I wouldn't use. I really wouldn't use Biolume as much in this case. You do get 2, but then you're going to have a really hard. Like you basically won't build up any more skill points there. So you're going to get 2 battle. You're going to get 2 there. So Would that be okay? 2 Power Gem 4s versus 4. I think this probably requires you to play around a little bit. So that's actually a good idea to take a look at your water commander. But I think basically what I see here is I almost prefer if you use Pro Cambrius, for example, or put in a Dynamic Dougal. But I think Goddess of the Surf is a good idea because you do get some additional Power Gem 3s that way. So yeah, I think all I would do is I would change the Biolume, take a look, because I want you to put more Slayer relics. You're not boosting your Slayer cards with your relics as is right now. So put all of your Slayer relics in there, and then I would because I think you're trying to power up Biolume, and I think it's going to take longer, and I'm not sure it's worth it. So either you can keep it in, but don't bother using relics to boost it up, would be my recommendation. And that way you can hopefully get more relics to spawn your power gems, and then you can deal more damage that way. Alrighty. And so let's take a look. Zod with a 0, it looks like. And let's see, so you have a deck that uses the Reforged Butcher, which, as I was saying, is a good choice there. But I'm not seeing the deck here. So yeah, and it looks like you have a couple of the crickets that you do need to level up still. So let's take a look here. Yeah, definitely. I think with what you've got so far, using 1 Reforged Butcher, Bewitching Kaliba, and then Torchina. So those 3 plus your 2 crickets. I think that's what I saw. But then the relics. So you are using commander relics. So you definitely don't want to do that. So what you want to do is you want to use only Slayer relics if you have. And let's see. It looks like you might be... Okay, so you have that. So let's take a look and see what your target is. So we got Water Slayer. So you've got 2 there. So you should use these 2 for sure. And then, so you got Elf and Honored. So do you have any Honored? Yeah. So in this case, I think just instead of using the Commander Relics, just use your Sabers. If you have any Sabers, yeah, so you have a Pristine Saber. That's actually going to give you more damage output than the Commander Relics that you have put in there for now. So take those out and then put in your Sabers to get some additional damage. Alrighty. Now let's just go and catch up now and see what's going on in the chats here. So let's see, where did I leave off? So got some new people in the chat again. So T Martinez, thank you. So I think the short videos help out a lot with your tips. Yeah, so thanks. I do like one thing I do want to make sure that I cater to a little bit is just, ultimately the goal is to help people out. And these long streams, I think, are good for people who are willing to spend the time to watch it. And for people who are in the stream, again, very thankful for you all. That is very helpful there. But I think, the short ones are a good way for people to just jump in and jump out, get a little tip here and there, and then be on their way. So I think that's what I'm going to continue to try out as well. And so let's see. We got more people. And I'm going to try and get through as many as I could, but I definitely want to read through these comments as well. So I'm Kiko. All these short videos has been really helpful. I want to know if that's the best I can do with my current deck. It's always good extra setup eye if you it'd be awesome. Yeah, so, I think definitely, hopefully you guys are starting to get a sense of sort of a pattern of what I'm going to tell you, right? So basically, what I always look for, I'm going to use my deck to sort of give a, and I give you sort of what I think about, right? Always, I look at the cards that have potential for power gems. And then I look for gem spawning ability, and then I look to see if I can take advantage of my Water Slayer relics now that we sort of span across 3 different, events. This is where mixing and matching really kind of comes into play. And so I look for gem creation possibility. Then I look for things like, do I have a card that can actually give me damage boost, right? So some of the teams I haven't really shown or explored, Draconic Irrigator is a good card that does, gem drop and also It creates power gems, but then it has restrictions. So things I am starting to sort of shy away from, not really shy away, but just kind of, think a little bit more about is whether or not I really want to take a card that requires a lot of intensity, given that most of us don't have these relics anymore. They don't come out with them anymore. If you don't have them, you can't power them. And so is it really worth it? And also because of the intensity requirement, you're going to need more turns. And in Slayers, it's all about being quick. So if I were to use the Draconic Irrigator, I would just use it for its gem fall, sort of the gem destroy ability, and not really to create more power gems there. And similar thing with Coruscant. So Coruscant is a really good card to power up this particular event because it does boost Fables. So this is the kind of card that I would use for a long drawn out fight, like a Guild Eternal boss, for example. And so you do have to also think about what is the target that you're going after. If you're trying to get MVP or you're trying to get, good damage on a regular boss, then try to find one that can give you something in 2 to 3 turns, or maybe 2 hits. But if you need to do something that uses intensity a lot, then you're going to take longer. And so that's something that kind of goes in my mind. And also, a card like Farah that gives me, additional increase to the damage taken by enemy. These are awesome cards. It's just that I need to make sure that I can fill up the board with gems plus power gems in order to take advantage of that ability. So that's kind of what I think about. And so just kind of looking at some of the latest comments here. So your guild actually suggests the videos to you so you can get additional tips. Oh, well, I'm glad for your guild suggesting my videos. Thanks a lot. And let's see. So the last question here is, will I continue the Heavenly Spire videos later? So, honestly, I have been recording all of my Heavenly Spire fights. I just haven't uploaded them. I have hundreds of videos for Spires that I haven't actually got a chance to upload. So it will come at some point. I just don't know how to, it's going to just flood the uploaded playlist. But yes, I do have them. Although I kind of got lazy a little bit. I haven't really been using the most basic decks I can build when I do them. Sometimes if I have the cards for it, I just use it. And honestly, if you've been getting the Generation 3 decks, they've been really, really helpful for these. So I guess to answer your question is yes, I definitely could upload some of them if you find them helpful. And let's see, I think with this, because of the additional boost, I can one-shot it with my nuke. Yeah, so this is such an awesome deck. I was really glad that I was lucky in the runes event, in that event with my runes, so I could get that. So yeah, and you guys know about the lane for where the Cobalt bosses appear in the guild boss, right? So basically, once you defeat a Cobalt boss, continue to fight the next boss, the very next boss that shows up, like the newest boss that comes up. If it's not a Cobalt boss, take it out, and it's going to be a Cobalt or a Radiant next. All right. Sorry, guys. I'm going to have to scroll up to take a look and see who I have missed. If I remember, the last person was Nano. And so who else has been asking? So let's take a look. Oh, no. Zod was the last one. So Ismina Drift. Baroness Ismina Drift. I will take a look. So let's see what we got here. All right. And I think, yeah, so I'm a little jealous that you guys have Dr. Nuna, to be honest. I really wanted that card and I couldn't get it. So you got Haldor, Dr. Nuna, and you've got also the support card and Bewitching Kaliba plus the Cricket. And so, I would think that you're going to be using Dr. Nuna, Esteemed Haldor, as well as a Stalking Cricket. Definitely want to put in Tarchina in there, and I wouldn't really put in Helga. Instead, I would put in Bewitching Kaliba. So those would be the 5 cards I would use. Let's take a look and see if you have that already in your deck. And that's exactly what you've got. And you've also got the 3 relics plus the 2 that I had recommended. So I think you're set. The activation order is going to be, and also, given that the whole Dr. Nuna has a requirement of 75 Water Slayer skill point, If you need to, probably by turn 5 or 6, you'll be able to activate it. So you're going to get 1, 2. You're going to get 25. You're going to get 25 every 25 skill points every turn, right? 10 plus 10 and then 20 and then 15, 25. So 3 turns later, you'll be able to use his skill with 4 power gems. And so I would just activate the 2 support cards on turn 2 first, and then activate everything else, and then just kind of keep going there. So that'll be my recommendation. All right, so that was quick and easy. You guys are building your own decks. Look at that. I don't even need to do anything there because that was exactly how I would have built your deck as well. So good job. And let's see. Two excellent. Yeah, so I'm recognizing some of these names as well. And so let's see what you've got going on. And I think the next event is going to be a Dark Commander event. Are you guys ready for that? All right, so you've got a Reforged Pharaoh. So Reforged Pharaoh will actually heal and create water gems. So if we need gems there, we can think about that. And yeah, so you got the Reforged Ardor. And so unfortunately, you're not going to be able to take advantage of the additional boost to the damage there. But you do have a lot of Generation 3 heroes now. And you have the Draconic Irrigator. And so I think this is the case where I would say 1 copy to support card. And you might benefit more from having your 2 Reforged Butcher. So that's 3 there. And I guess you could choose to use any of your other Reforged heroes here to get additional gems. I would say with Lafada Torcina, you wouldn't really need gem spawn. So you could benefit from a turn delay using Ardor, but I would add in the Irrigator in here in this case, because the Irrigator will also destroy gems and create a couple of Power Gem 3s there, so you could probably try and add that in there just to get a little bit of damage boost. But your 2 Reforged Butcher really is the best bet for you in creating Power Gems. And if we take a look at your Commander cards, I want to see... Yeah, I think that will be the best bet. You are a little bit, you know, what you're lacking a little bit is the power gem spawning ability, and so putting as many of those as possible is going to be a better idea for you. So it's good that you got the Reforged Butchers because it will be helpful for you. All right, hopefully that helps. And again, just if I've given you help and you've tried it out and it actually works out, I really appreciate just kind of if you can share that with me in the comments or something, so that I can, or if it doesn't, like whether it works or not, let me know. And if you have to make tweaks, just kind of let me know so that I could also see that it's, you know, been useful, or that I need to basically learn a little bit from the mistakes I've made. Okay, let's see who else here. And T Martinez, sorry, I think I just saw your post message here. It's good to be back on here. Well, definitely always nice to have you as well. So the real McGray. Sorry, it's taken me a while, but I'm here. Okay, I am catching up a little bit. So the real McGray and Mr. Gray, not McGray. That makes more sense. So the real Mr. Gray, let's see what you got working on here. So you've got the Draconic Irrigator, Dr. Noonet, 2 support cards, and Stalking Cricket with 3 Slayer relics and the appropriate relics for spawning gems, except you're using a Ketas bow. So the challenge really here is, can I even do better? Like, honestly, I feel at this point, just kind of seeing what you guys are using, I kind of feel that, you know, for the most part, I'm not, I feel like you guys are doing a really good job there, so I'm really happy to see that. And so you do have Haldor though, and let's see your gear here for a second. Water, you've got honor, you got 2 honor, so I think I saw that. So you got a Matriarch Spear, but it's a 4-star, so unfortunately you probably will get Power Gem 2, so that's still not bad. Okay, so let's take a look, right? So you got a 5-star Ketas. You got a 5-star Ketas bow here. I would replace that with your 4-star Matriarch Spear because you get a Power Gem 2. I would also replace your Draconic Irrigator with Haldor. Actually, you're definitely going to get more damage that way compared to using Irrigator. I know that you're trying to use a relic here, but I think you might actually. I would then, instead of replacing Kiddo's Bowl, I would replace this relic with the Force Cannon with your 4-star Matriarch Spear, and put in Haldor instead. You're going to see a much improved damage overall with that setup. Okay, so let's go with that, and let me know what you think. So Mr. Or Mircy83. That's the recommendation I gave you there. And Will Robinson, we kind of talked about that. Sorry to see you go. Rev Ron. Okay, let's go and or should I say Reverend Ron? Let's see what you got. So you got the Pinocchio, jealous, or I should say congratulations. And so what I see here, I guess really sometimes it's just more confusing when you got so many options. Like, what do you do? And so in this case, you've got more support cards, but you have 4 different cards that can generate power gems. And so you've got, definitely you want to use your Dr. Noonet and your Stocking Cricket as well as Pinocchio. Like, that is definitely the 3 that you want to use. And the question is whether or not using Lafada Tricina and Reforged Butcher is better, or using Lafada Tricina and Bewitching Kaliba would be better. So let's take a look at your gear, right? So if we take a look at your gear and you've got Water Slayer deck, so you've got all 3 Slayer decks, and so this is an interesting trade-off. I would say go with the setup that uses. Let's see, do you have one right now? So I would go with this setup here, but I would replace Biolume with your support card. You're losing out on your water gem creation abilities by not having the support card in there. Definitely put her in there over Biolume. This is one of the cases where if you're going to put in a commander card in there, I would rather you take out the Butcher and put in the Procambrius if you have him. Let's take a quick look and see if you've got him. So you do have Procambrius. Like, I honestly say with this particular setup, put in a support card in there, and if you wanted to try it, put in the Procambrius instead. You're going to see much better damage output that way. Okay. And okay, so I'm just gonna catch up a little bit. There's so many requests, hard to get through them all. And so let's just kind of see what I've missed here. I think the last one I saw was a question on whether or not I'm going to do Spires, and got people saying like, so Derek Haynes got lucky, so congratulations for your Master Collection card on the 4th pull. And remember to drink some water, Judge of all. Thanks. I am actually getting a little thirsty here. And so let's see. The rune dust, since we need 2.4 to forge and we can get 4 when we smell the melon, we get rewards and tears very bad and chance to forge and see the way worse. And so, like, there's definitely people that have been saying like they like it, some people don't like it. I think I'm kind of looking forward to actually a rune event for the next water event because of all the dust that I was able to collect. I'm looking forward to getting a ultimate form, so keep my fingers crossed. And so Paul Hicks, I'll take a look, and we'll see. Joe wants to know. I think I'm trying to catch up. There's actually a lot of people who are requesting, and so just gonna try and do what I can. Ethan Patterson. So thank you. I definitely try what I can. I do what I could. This is something that I enjoy doing, and so you guys have given me positive reinforcement there for helping out. So definitely I will continue to do this for as long as I can. And I am now missing my place for who else is asking for help. Sorry. So give me a second. while I scroll up real quick. But while I'm looking, I'm just going to jump into one. The next person that I see, I'm going to jump in. And you know what? I'm going to take a look at... I can't find the names anymore. I'm sorry, guys. There's so many chats here. I am trying to find my place. But... you know what? Let's go ahead and take a look at... so Paul Hicks, I don't know if I saw you. I know I saw your name, but what's your in-game name again? If there's a good way for me to filter by people, then I could have... again, I'm really sorry. I don't mean to be skipping anybody. Like, I really want to try and get in and help you guys out, but... I need somebody to help me and sort of get a list of names that I could kind of queue up here. So unfortunately right now, I am going to just have to go with the very next person. That's going to be Vicar Aymar Sr. And if I missed you, just put your in-game name down below so that I can sort of scroll down quickly to take a look, because right now I'm having a hard time searching for it, and I apologize for that. And what do you guys think? You know, I also want to make this a little bit more interactive as well, so that if anybody, you know, is taking a look at the, you know, the in-game names here, and you feel, you know, you want to give it a shot as well, like, I would highly recommend you guys also giving your perspectives and your recommendations in the chat. You can give PM, like, you know, private messages or whatnot. Like, feel free to be interactive and talk about it as well, and give help here. I think that'll be a really awesome experience, to be honest with you. And so right now, just kind of taking a look at the cards that you have here. And so what I see right now is that you've got Haldor, which is going to be pretty much the staple for basically the rest of my Legendary Game of Heroes career as far as Water Slayer deck's concerned, at least for the foreseeable future. So definitely use him, and the Stalking Cricket, as well as your Reforged Butcher. These three are going to be good for you, plus La Fada Turchina. And then to round out your fifth card, I would say use Bewitching Kaliba, simply because I expect that you would have the relics in place. So this is where, you know, we're getting to a point where we have more and more water. Oh, look at that. So I think this is going to give you no power gems, though. It gives you a water gem. So I wouldn't really use that. You probably have better options there. So, you know, you have these water relics, Slayer relics. So definitely use those. I would use those three relics plus the 5 cards I mentioned. So I think... yeah, so I see you're using the Dragon, which also creates power gems, right? So I think the Dragon creates 4 power gem 4, so that's a good option too. But instead of 3 Forged Farah, I would actually use Kaliba. So put in Kaliba there so that you can take advantage of the relic. And I think keeping the Kraken there is not a bad idea. You've got the Dragon relic, which isn't really going to help too much, but I suppose that's okay. I guess that should be okay because you're getting power gems there. So yeah, I like that. So give that a try. Just replace your Reforged Farah with Kaliba, and you should see increase in your damage overall. So I'm going to take a look at, so Jill wants to know, is that your in-game name? Jill wants to, no? Take a guess? No. So, oh, I already looked at yours. Okay, so sorry about that. So let's see, and you got different setups. Paul Hicks, in-game name is PTown27. Thank you very much. PTown27. And are you guys actually also participating in doing, you know, guild bosses right now, or do you feel like you're focused more on the solo bosses? I tried the ultimate boss, by the way, and I can only go up to level 5. I couldn't quite take down level 6 with my cards, which is really unfortunate. But I was actually using mostly my Dark Slayer cards for that. What decks are you guys using for the ultimate bosses if you're trying? I think it doesn't really make sense until you can get up to about level 10 or so, that's really when you're going to be getting the trophies really needed to boost you up there. So going to level 5 and 6, it's actually faster to just go after the sort of the infernal kobolds. Like, it just doesn't quite make sense just yet at that level. All right, so let's see here, and I'm going to sound like a broken record because I'm going to say Haldor and Reforged Butcher here. One copy of your Lafada Torcina, so those 3 right there across the bottom middle row. And I think for you, Bewitching Kaliba is going to be better. And since you are missing a Power Gen spawner, I'm going to take the playbook from other people who have tried this, and you could probably use either the Iron Spine Night Horse, since you have, but you don't have one at, so it's at 5 stars, so probably not. You can also try using a Bioloom. That could be an option. And I see that you have the Golden Trickster, so I want to check out something. So you got a Golden Trickster, and do you have the Corrupt Relic? So let's take a look here. So you do have the Corrupt Relic, but it's not, unfortunately, it's not enchanted. Otherwise, I would have recommended that. So yeah, so my recommendation is to use, let's go back to your Water Slayer deck. My recommendation is to go with Kaliba, Lafada Torcina, Esteemed Haldor, Reforged Butcher. And for the 5th card, you can just pick and choose. I kind of mentioned that you could use Bioloom, but I think honestly you can put in any other cards in there and experiment and see how you do there. Okay, so give that a try. And let's see if there's anyone else that that's been asking for a tip that I haven't seen. So Jim Paulson, so great, glad to hear that the tips are useful. And let me know if there's anything else that you feel would be, if you're a new player, also take a look and check out the beginner video series to see if that helps out, and also give me some some recommendations on what topics you like to hear. And since I don't believe I've helped you before, I'm going to jump in your profile right now and take a look. So Dark Arcane X. So let's see what you got going on. So you're having trouble nailing down the best combination to use. And so let's see what we can do. So you've got Bewitching Kaliba, Helga, and also Lafada Torcina. You've got Vinder, so Vinder is probably going to be a good bet for you. And so right now, I think what you want to do is you want to use, I would go with Vinder. You might as well do Vinder, Cupid arrows, 2 copies of Torcina, and 1 copy of, you have Esteemed Haldor. You might want to consider leveling him up if you can, because right now I would use him even at 4 star just because you can get 2 Power Gem 4s. But definitely, as soon as you can get the, if you can get the Catalyst to level him up, I would highly recommend that. So I would use him plus your 2 Torcinas, Vendor. That's 3 cards there. And then for your 4th card, I would go with, I guess, Cupid Earls, just so that you can get additional Power Gems there. With your 2 support cards from Torcina, you're going to get a ton of Water Gems on your board by turn 3. So you should have no problems there. And that would be my recommendation. So next stream for Thursday, you'll be helping out. Yeah, great. So definitely. So you can definitely be my help, and anybody else. Thanks so much for the offer there, Judgeable. I appreciate that. Okay, and welcome to the Lion's Den. Okay, let's take a look. I don't think I've seen that one. Welcome to the Lion's Den. Welcome to the Lion's Den. Welcome to the Lion's Den. Okay, well, I tried, but couldn't get in. T. Martinez. Let me see. I'm going to jump into the next one because we're nearing the end of the stream here. And as usual, if I've missed you, I apologize. Feel free to message me on the network app chat. Let me know of the team that you're working on, and I can, I can try and help out. So what's going on here? So I guess I missed a letter there. Okay. So right now, Alan, so let's take a look at your deck. And here's what I see. So far, I don't see anything wrong with it at all, except you're missing the current relic. Not sure if you are planning on getting that or not, but as soon as you do, that's what I recommend, putting that in there. And based on the cards I see, yeah, that looks good. Now you have a 5-star cricket, but given what you've got, you could decide, basically, the choice is yours. You could choose to replace one of your La Fada Tricina with another cricket if you want, or you can keep it in here. Although I think you're generally going to get a little bit more damage if you can replace one Tricina with a cricket there. So give that a try and see, and let me know. Okay, and so let's see. I believe I Duppy Conqueror, I haven't forgotten you. So this is going to be my last one, guys. So I'm just going to help out Duppy, and then I'm going to call it a night here. I appreciate again. So thanks a lot, everybody, for just joining me for this chat here, and just kind of spending an hour of your time during Slayers. I know it's difficult during Slayer time to while you can be slaying, you're spending time here with me. Appreciate that. So Duppy, what you got going on? The stalking cricket is going to be hard to level because you need a totem, and so that does require either dust or other cattle or other ways to or actual. You need dust, or you need to get the dungeon coins. Hopefully you can collect them and you can buy them so you can upgrade them. But I would say even with that, I would go with La Fada Tricina, Kaliba, Haldor, and the Stalking Cricket. That's 4 right there. And then for your 5th card, you might as well put in Helga there as well for a heal. So you're not going to have as many power gems there, but I think with this setup, you should do okay. I would expect probably around 30 to 40 billion damage. That's what I would say. Okay, so that's gonna be it for me in terms of jumping in the stream, jumping in profiles to help out. But I just wanted to say thanks again. So Peaches5712, just seeing your message now. Thank you very much for your feedback. And Ron, glad to hear and glad to see that the recommendations made an improvement. So I'm glad. Over 200 billion more damage. So hey, that's awesome. Good to hear. All right, guys, that's it for tonight's stream. Again, you guys have been awesome. Thanks very much. And I appreciate the feedback about the short videos. As I find opportunities to to explore some more ideas, this is what I started with doing. I'm going to continue down that path. So I will definitely be coming out with more short videos in addition to the streams here. And judge of all, I look forward to seeing you next Thursday to help me keep track of a list of people that can help me out. All right, so that's it. Thanks for everybody. Enjoy the event, and I'll see you next time. Take care.